Great. We have started recording and transcription, and Andrew, if you could call the meeting to order and also do a roll call to make sure that we can hear all the members of the committee.
Andrew, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I had opened everything up on my desktop, and then it deleted it. So just sit tight for 1 second. Sorry, everybody. And now it says the link has expired. Kelly, I have the agenda in front of me, but I might need you to call the roll. So I will call the meeting to order at 4:02 p.m. And then Kelly or Sophia, if you could just do the roll call, though, because I don't have the list sitting in front of me. I don't know if you do either. I see you. All right. Well, let's see. I see. Is Jay here?
Jay is not here.
Is Hugh here? Eric? I heard Eric.
Yes, Eric's here.
Hey, Eric. I don't know if Ken Strafer joined. Jeff, I see.
Let me comment.
Jeff, I see.
We ought not to have a link to the material that expires before the meeting. I'm on a different computer. I've downloaded it on another computer, and I can't get it now as indicated. The link should not expire before the meeting. Thank you.
I agree.
It should have been good for 30 days, but I will confirm the settings.
Thank you.
Materials?
Thank you. Charlie Nichols, is Charlie here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Is Stanley here? Okay. Who else am I missing from here?
Giff is here.
Who's on the GIF? I've got you. So I've got Eric, Jeff, GIF, Charlie, and Andrew. 5 of us. Anyone else from the committee that I missed?
Hugh said she was going to be here.
Okay. Are we needing her for quorum?
We do need her for quorum, yes.
Okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and call the meeting to, well, I've already called the meeting for order. Let's dispense with the meeting minutes for the time being. And I'm getting some feedback, so if everyone could mute their phone, that would be great too. We used to do this as a matter of course without a problem, and everyone was it worked out so well. I think, let's go ahead and have a discussion. I guess, Kelly, if we could turn it over to you for discussion about upcoming applications and AF renewals quick before we go into any of the new business.
Are we unmuted? Yes, we are. Hi, Kelly Atkinson, DPD. So this week we sent out, I think it was 10 certified letters for the ANF renewals. So we have one statewide and the rest were local districts. So we hope that next year is going to be a very busy year. We'll try to coordinate as best as we can in terms of staggering the applications and trying to do a few at a time to best maximize your time with committee meetings. And then also recently this week, the MAW district has come back in. Their application expired this year technically, but they have come back in for a resubmission with the same acreage. So I hope to get them accepted this week and scheduled for hearing early next year.
Okay, thank you very much. I do see Hugh. She is on. I've got 2 things from Hugh. I don't know if she's here, and Hugh, if you can unmute and just verify your attendance. But I guess we do need her for quorum. I don't know, Kelly or Sophia, if you've got her number, or if anyone's got her number, we can call her and just verify, because the next things that we have to do are approve the meeting minutes and then go into new business. Query whether or not we go into new business and just hear the applications and hopefully wait for her to join to take a vote. But again, she is logged in. I do see that. So any thoughts from the committee as to how we should proceed?
I tend to think we ought to go ahead, Andrew, and do it that way. And I mean, we can't take any action without a quorum. And
Yeah,
technically, our
agreed.
meeting is not valid without a quorum. But I think we could go ahead for the sake of time efficiency and hear the reports.
Okay, I agree. Then let's go ahead and do that. Ms. Fisher, Ms. Atkinson, if you want to start, you know, the first, I guess we have a couple of, we have three or two things before us today: the Holly Spring local ANF district that's down on Mason Neck, and the Simonson local ANF district that is up in Great Falls. So let's start with the Holly Spring presentation, if we could.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is technically a new application, but it's actually a reactivation of a district that expired a couple years ago. It's down on Mason Neck. It is located in the Mount Vernon district. It's a little over 26 acres. And these are this is the area that was originally subject to the ANF district that expired. It's zoned residential estate. There's about 5.8 acres of EQC and 4.8 acres of RPA, and those are largely congruent. Staff reviewed the application. We got a plan, a soil and water conservation plan, and a forestry plan, both provided. In terms of the evaluation criteria, it meets all of the applicable criteria from Group A and also 2 from Group B, and those 2 are scenic vista and historically significant sites. And it also meets the minimum district acreage and other requirements of the code. It should be noted that there have been no substantive changes to the district since the previous district expired. And should it be reestablished, it would be expected to meet all of the ordinance provisions. Staff does recommend approval of the application subject to the proposed ordinance provisions, and I would be happy to answer any questions. And I'll also note that the applicants, Gary and Keith Nippling, are on the line.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Fisher. Let me turn it over to the applicant, see if they'd like to say anything. Mr. Nippling or Ms. Nippling, any thoughts at all or anything you wish to share with the committee? And you don't have to say anything at all.
If we don't have to say anything, I won't say anything then. Okay.
All right, very good. I've driven down Harley Road many a time and driven back into your neck of the woods, so know it well. Having gone to Hayfield High School growing up, and all my friends live down on Mason Neck, so go Hawks. Okay, any questions for staff or for the applicant at all from members of the committee? All right. Seeing none, we're going to defer a vote until hopefully Ms. Newcomb can join in. If we would, Ms. Fisher, can we please move? Is Ms. Newcomb here? Is Hugh here? Is she here? Did I hear her? If we could move on to an overview of the Simonson local ANF district application.
Hey, Andrew, I see her on my distribution, but I see she's muted. Hugh, are you there? And can you unmute if you are? Okay.
Or does staff, I think you called this meeting, do you have the ability to unmute people? I'm not sure whether you do or not. And I sent her an email as well. And I don't know if we've got her cell phone at all.
Kelly is trying to get in touch with her.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, let's move on to the next application if we could.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is William Nance from the Department of Planning and Development. This application requests to establish the Simonson Local Agricultural and Forestal District for an initial 8-year term. This application includes properties which make up the current Simonson Agricultural and Forestal District, plus 2 additional properties. The 29.81 acre property is comprised of multiple parcels on Lee Mill Road and 1 parcel on Mill Ridge Lane in the Drainsville District. The property is zoned residential estate. It is planned for residential uses at 0.2, 0.2 to 0.5 dwelling units per acre, as well as public parks. Approximately 4.8 acres is used for agriculture, while 22 acres is forested or undeveloped. There are 3 residential structures on the property: the main house, guest house, and tenant house, along with barn and outbuildings. The site is in the difficult runoff water bed, contains perennial streams and other environmentally sensitive features such as EQC, RPA, and floodplain, coincidentally, on multiple portions of the property. A conservation easement has been recorded with the Northern Virginia Conservation Trust on most of the property to preserve and protect the property and historic resources in perpetuity. The Soil and Water Quality Conservation Plan was prepared by the Northern Virginia Soil and Water Conservation District. Critical recommendations include nutrient and pest management and erosion control. Other recommended items include meadow establishment and record keeping. The plan also notes the impressive job done by the applicant to remove bamboo within stream buffers and other areas of the property. The area forester also inspected the property and prepared a land use forest management plan. Recommendations were included to remove some invasives as well as to further reduce the size of the deer herd on the property. The proposed district satisfies the applicable Group A criteria and 5 of the applicable criteria in Group B and meets the minimum district acreage and other requirements of the code. Should it become a district, it would be expected to meet all other ordinance provisions. Based on the information provided by the applicant and staff's analysis, staff recommends approval of the application subject to provision the proposed ordinance provisions. That concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great. Thank you very much for that. Any questions of staff
Yeah.
at all?
Yeah, I have a question. Going back to the map earlier, there's this one here. The purple line that is the area is not all inclusive of the perimeter, at least in the version that I see. If I start on the northeast corridor based on the map, okay, it goes across the top of parcel 25 and goes down between 23 and 25, then goes to 24. And there's a very thin line between the bottom of 24, 21 and a parcel. What is that, 2 feet long? I mean, didn't we go through a big situation years ago where each parcel was had an irregular shape, and the county has said that you cannot have a parcel that meets certain things? But I'm between the circular 16 and the bottom of 21 and 24, it looks like that parcel includes that property, but I can't see how wide it is. Then on the west, there's no purple line between 16 and 7, and then there's no line between 18B and so you see what I'm saying? I don't see a contiguous or a identified parcel.
This is Gary Simonson. May I respond to that question?
Yes, please.
Certainly.
Okay. So we've been in agricultural forestal now already. This would be our third time before. We originally put it in. It went up after 8 years. Put it in again, and now this would be the next time. If I could help clarify, if you take parcel 25, so we've already, in fact, we are an agricultural forester right now. We've actually added a couple of parcels, but I think that makes this a new application. But we're currently an agricultural forestal. If you take the parcel 25, that northern line runs all the way to Lay Mill. It then runs all the way south down Lay Mill and then it follows that Mill Ridge Lane into the property. Then it comes back up the Middle Creek on the west side of the Middle Creek. And what you're seeing, that thick purple, and this helps show it, clarifies it, shows it much better, is when we originally restored the 300-year-old farm, and it was broken into parcels, but you've got a conservation easement and agricultural buffer that goes all the way around, and that is 10, 20 feet wide, depending where it is. The western, now you can see on the picture that's in the screen, the western north-south is 100 feet wide. And then that buffer runs again the southern side. And that's a 5-acre parcel, by the way, that southern parcel that runs east-west and then up the north, and then north-south on the western side. And then what we've done in this application is, again, renew what we've had, plus we've added that 4-acre parcel that's the northern part above the main house and that western number 16.
All right, so is
Maybe
16,
that helps clarify.
is 16 in or out? Because the line,
It's
the purple
it's
line,
in. It's an addition, so it's in. It's
So then
it's an addition.
so should there not be a purple line to its west?
Well, I guess you would. I think they showed it probably because it's addition, but yes, you would get rid of the line between the western north-south line of the 16. You'd remove. Yes.
Okay,
you're
that was
correct.
just
It's
confusing
like
because
it was removed on. Yes, you're correct.
so it's like a lake on an island on a lake, in an island. So all right, so 16 is part of the parcel.
Yes,
And
it's
so
not.
the-
Yeah, it shouldn't be that north-south. It is not an island in a lake or something. It's that 16. The just like there's no line along that east-west access road of that's the part of that where it says barn, that 4-acre parcel. Just
Yeah.
like there's no line along that access road, there should be no line on that western north-south. The closest one. If you take the two north-south lines on the western side of the property, the furthest west north-south line that runs the whole run, that should stay. But the shorter one, we'll call it, I don't know, a few hundred feet, that piece, that middle line should disappear.
Okay,
Yes.
good. That makes this a lot less confusing. I was trying to trace this and giving up on my understanding. But thank you for that
The other
clarification.
thing is there's just a typo, I think, in that when the slides are put together, the location says 6830. That's actually just 830. There's no 6.
Okay. So
Yeah,
staff
these
can
are
make,
all contiguous parcels of what's been a historic farm for 300 years.
I appreciate that. If staff can make that change in the plan to prevent other people being as confused as I am.
We'll make the changes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes. Mr. Simonson, would you like to say anything else about this case at all, or are there any other questions from the committee for Mr. Simonson at all? Or for
No,
staff?
we as always, we greatly appreciate Fairfax's interest in preserving land and allowing for agricultural uses, and we're very appreciative of the time and effort of the staff and of the committee.
Certainly. And also, Ms. Hunter Nichols, I neglected to ask if you wanted to chime in on either application.
And thanks for the opportunity. I have nothing additional to add.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Ms. Fisher or Ms. Atkinson, I don't know if we've been successful in getting Ms. Newcomb on board. I greatly fear that since we don't have a quorum, we can't do anything other than sort of limited procedural actions here.
Chairman
So
Painter,
just-
I was able to get a hold of Jay Doshi.
Yep.
And Jay is going to be joining us momentarily.
Okay, wonderful. Right. Glad he was able to join in. So if we could just hold off for just a few minutes. I guess we could take a look at the minutes as well while we're doing that. Did everyone have a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting? Does anyone have any corrections or modifications? Okay.
So moved. Oh, we can't do that. Yeah, sorry.
We can't do that. Yeah.
If
So
I
while
could
we're
do it,
waiting
I
for
would
Mr.
do it.
Doshi- If you could do, you could do. Yeah, exactly. And I
Hi,
know
Mr.
Mr. Hampshire.
Mr. Doshi is
Yeah.
here.
Good
All right, hello,
afternoon.
Mr. Doshi. Hello. Thank you very much for joining.
Anytime.
So as I'm sure Ms. Atkinson mentioned to you, we have reviewed the minutes. There are no modifications or corrections. We have received the staff reports for the 2 A&F districts before us. And now I think we're ready for a slew of votes. So I guess I would start off with the approval of the meeting minutes from the October 4th, 2023 meeting. If I could get a motion for that in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr.
I'm sorry,
Second. Second.
With the virtual, I'm sorry, I couldn't catch who moved and who seconded.
Gift moved.
Ms.
Could have been me, Charlie Nichols.
Charlie
I'll
Nichols
put
for
it
the
down
second.
as Mr. Hampshire, Nichols. Great. Thank you.
Any discussion on that motion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Right. Oh, I think I heard Ms. Newcomb joining in. So motion carries. And I would like to reflect for the record, Ms. Newcomb, are you here? Hugh, are you here?
Yes.
Okay, all right, wonderful. So we've got, just add her to the list of attendees as well. Next item up for vote, making a recommendation for approval of the Holly Spring Local A&F District renewal. And I will be happy to make that motion if I could get a second.
Seconded
Second.
from Eric Cox.
All right,
Seconded.
by Mr. Cox. All right, well, Mr. Cox beat Mr. Parnes to it. Any discussion on this motion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any opposed? That will carry unanimously. And then the last motion is to recommend approval of the Simonson Local A&F District. And I will be happy to make that motion as well if someone would second that.
Seconded.
Seconded by Mr. Parnes. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed or any opposed? All right, that motion will also carry. So I appreciate it, Mr. Nippling, Mr. Nippling, and Mr. Simonson. Thank you very much for joining us today. You're more than welcome to stick around, although I think we are now going to go into a brief closed session to discuss AFDAC membership and potential new members. And so I am going to move. Yes, Ms. Atkinson.
Chairman Painter,
Yes.
sorry, since we are recording this meeting, and I just want to ask if there's anybody else here from the public for public comment before we go into closed session, because we are recording this and I do want to stop the recording when we go into closed session.
Understood. Yeah, thank you very much for that reminder. Is there anybody else from the public that would like to address the committee on any matter?
And if not, our next meeting will be January 24th, I believe, at 4 p.m. And it will be an in-person meeting. So mark your calendars now.
I want everyone to mark their calendars right now.
Yeah.
Like now.
What's the date again? Sorry, what date?
January 24th, 4 p.m. here, and I will be sending a calendar invite shortly.
Got
I
it.
will also be visiting your homes as well during the holiday season to remind you.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now.
Are you coming in through the chimney or else?
Yes. That's right. All right. Thank you, Ms. Atkinson. Yes, I guess we can stop the recording, and I'm happy to make the motion whenever it's appropriate.